Hello, welcome back to another video, planner friends. I'm going to be setting up my binder for September. It's September 3rd today. This is the first opportunity that I have had to sit down with my planner and do this. So I thought I would film it because I have created things mainly using sterling ink, vellum and things like that. I've had people ask me where I got them, where I got my dividers, things like that. So I figured let's film a video and share with you guys how I set up my planner for a new month. So I've made these. So some things that I kind of must have in my planner are definitely tab dividers. And I love my Sterling Ink subscription kits because she provides 2 full vellums every month. And so I do like to incorporate those in my planner. So for example, this one here was for August. And look how gorgeous that is. So that's the August kit. This is also from the August kit. And I like to make dividers because then I can enjoy them all month long and in the future. I don't think... These are all Sterling Ink. These tab dividers that I've made, they're all Sterling Ink. But these 2 were the ones from the August kit. So I've made a couple out of the September kit for my binder, as well as I need, on top of the tab dividers, I always need page finders. I'm finding I mainly need to reference my monthly, so I need something in my monthly. Definitely need something to mark today. And I'm finding I need something to take me to the current week. Those are the 3 places I reference the most. I also reference my CEO area here, where I have notes, brain dumps and notes for both buy, sell, plan, and real estate. And so I find that I have to reference these notes a lot too, and I'm flipping and flipping. So that's what led me to create these. So I'm going to create one of them with you to show you how I made them. And I think these are going to be pretty. These are Sterling Ink stickers. And then these paper doilies are from a restaurant that I went to with Ryan. And our fancy drink came on a plate. And the cup was on the doily. So right away I took the doilies off the plate before they got dirty because I knew that I could make something with them. So this is what I chose to do. And I just love how they turned out. They're so pretty. So I did this. I traced these so that they were in a row and so that they were going to be top tabs in my planner. Okay. So that's my idea. I'm going to have 3 top tabs for potentially those 3 sections. I did also make one for a bottom tab. Here we go. So this will be a bottom tab for one of my sections. So we don't know exactly where they're going to go yet, but we shall see. And I chose this scrapbook paper because I love how it looks with this binder. I'm not ready to move into another binder yet. This is the Dusty Blue Vintage Aurora by Franklin Planner. It's the Franklin Covey compact size. And I was going to go into my chocolate brown or the purple Plumeria Vintage Auroras because those just are fall. But I don't know. With the Sterling Ink kit, they just didn't look, I didn't like how they looked in that planner. So I just absolutely loved how the colors complement each other. So that's the plan. So let's set that aside for now and get busy, shall we? So what I'm also going to be doing in this video as well is trimming my inserts. I don't think I've done that with you yet to share with you how I trim my inserts. So I make my own. For those of you who are new, welcome. I hope you enjoy this video and consider subscribing for functional planning videos. But yeah, so this is, I make my own inserts. I have a planner shop where we plan on opening up in October. If you would like to stay in the loop on that, please add yourself to our email list. The link is in the description to be the first to know of launch dates, exclusive content, freebies and things of that nature. So yeah, so I'm gonna share with you how I print out my inserts and set up my planner. Yeah, I'm really excited to share all that with you. Okay, so let's set these aside. I did have an Amazon storefront because most of my stuff I buy on Amazon. But now that we are an official business, I have to reset everything up. So unfortunately, I won't have links for you yet, but definitely stay tuned for future videos, and I will provide links where you can purchase all of my tools. Okay, so I've got these here. So basically what I did, I didn't want the border to be too thick. So I measured, so it's about 1 centimeter. Including the laminate, it's about 1 centimeter wide. It is 1 centimeter wide, actually. This one is just a tad bit narrow, and I think it's because I messed up on the inside, so I had to trim it down. So that's what I'm gonna do. Let me grab a pencil. And I am going to mark 1 centimeter around. And I am gonna draw a line because I wanna make sure that I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I wanna know where to stop because I need to go down both sides. So I'm gonna measure at the top as well so that I know that this is where my line goes. Okay. And I'm gonna do the same down at the bottom. Okay, so I have my lines in there. Now I'm gonna take my paper trimmer and I'm going to very carefully, I'm gonna be very careful when I'm up in this area here because I don't wanna go too high, even though I will be laminating this. So I'm just gonna put my head down here and see where the blade is to make sure that it does not go any farther than the lines that I drew. So I think that's perfect. Voila. And then I'm just going to erase anywhere where there's still lines or marks from when I measured. So just, you know, this can happen, little scraps of like it not trimming 100%. So then I just very carefully trim that off. So my goal is, and I tried with these, to have the insides rounded. So it does take, like you can see here, I went a little too far, but for the most part, I think I did a pretty good job. So I'm gonna try that. And so that just, it requires a little finesse. So I just take a little bit off at a time, and it's better to do too little than too much. So I do just a teeny bit until I'm satisfied. And it doesn't have to be, like it doesn't have to be perfect. I just don't want it to be so sharp, right? Just a little bit softer. Okay, I think that's good. I'm not going to mess with it too much more. So now I'm going to grab my laminate. And so then what I do, oh, before I do that, I'm going to round my corners. This one won't fit in, so I will just do that manually with scissors. And by the way, you can do whatever shape you want for your tab. I like the round look. I'm really into that lately. But like I just did this freehand. It wasn't really anything that I didn't have a template really. I just freehanded it and kept playing around with it to make sure that it's, I liked the height of it in my planner. And so now I'm going to put this in here and then I'm going to decorate. I thought of maybe leaving this one blank, but I want them all to match. Okay, so I don't know if I have any of the lace doilies left. I'll have to take a look, but I have my stickers from this kit in here. So I'm primarily going to use the florals. And it's just a matter of deciding which ones. So I think I'm going to use that. I'm not going to use any from this one, so I'm going to put these ones back. Okay, I'm going to see if I have any lace. I kept saying lace, I meant paper doilies. So this is what the actual doily looked like. So like I said, our glass was on top of this on a plate. So I thought it was so pretty. So it was myself, my husband, and my daughter. So I had 3 of them. So yeah, so I'm gonna try and use those. And this is a bin, or not a bin, but like a little, I got these from Michael's. And these are just full of ephemera. This is where I store my ephemera. So let me see if I had anything else. I don't think there's anything else that I wanted to introduce because I want them all to match. Okay, so we're good there. It's getting a little full, so I need to be careful. And then these are scraps that I had from the vellum. So I don't know, we'll see if maybe I can incorporate these somehow. So I'm just going to play around here and probably speed this part up just to help the video not be so long. And let's see what I can come up with. So all I do is just, you know, move it around and see where I think that it looks good. And let me keep the other ones out too, because I don't want to 100% repeat what I've done. Okay, what do we think? I like it. So you just have to make sure you, because as you're working on it, it can shift, and then just have to move it around to make sure everything is still within the frame. And I like it to be completely in the fold, because that's an area that you don't want to have to trim. There we go. So yeah, just want to make sure that that is straight in there. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I like it. So I'm going to go laminate it now, and then we'll trim it and start getting everything in my binder. There we go. Okay. So I also like to just make sure there's no lint or debris or anything like that in there, because it will get laminated. And which can happen if you are, you know, if it's open and you're working on it, things are going to stick to it, because it's kind of, I don't know, what's the right word? Staticky. So yeah, so just make sure that you don't have anything in there. on both sides. So I can see that there's just a little bit on there. So I think I got it all off now. Oh, okay. All right, so I'm gonna laminate this and then we'll trim it, trim my inserts, and start setting up my binder. Okay, we are all done. I love it. Okay, so let's do some paper trimming. So I love the first, like if I do two side by side, this one I can always do straight because it's in the fold, whereas this one not so much. So this is really easy when it's only one in the laminate. So what I do is I go as close to the edge as possible without breaking the seal. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a little, yeah, I don't know if you can see that. Maybe on the bottom one here, you can see that. See how this is like the overhang? And then, let's see, I'll use this as like a pointer. And then there's just a little bit, like maybe a millimeter underneath the actual paper. So you don't want to cut there. You don't want to cut really close because it'll split. So you want to cut just under that, because unfortunately it doesn't seal it like really close to like the paper. So yeah, so you will have a little bit of overhang on like around your design. So for the top, I went as close as I could, and now I have to use my scissors to do the rest. And I can trim off just a little bit here, even though this is where I'm going to be punching the holes, but just so they are even with the other ones. And because I rounded the corners before punching, before laminating rather, now when I punch them, the paper is rounded as well. I've made the mistake before of doing it after, and then the paper has a pointed edge where the laminate is rounded, and I don't like how that looks. So I round the corners beforehand. And it looks like I could, I don't know, do I want to risk it? It looks like I could trim off just a smidge. Maybe I won't, maybe I'll leave it alone. Okay, I really like how this looks. So let's punch it. And now we have 3 tab dividers. I love them. Oh, just these colors are so, they're like, you know, because in September, flowers are still in bloom, right? The leaves haven't really changed color yet. I mean, they've started. Some have started. Some, it's mostly still green and there's still flowers. So this is still kind of late summer, early fall vibes, and I love it. Okay, so I've got my dividers. This is from the subscription kit, and I did not laminate this one. I do like to have 1 or 2 vellums in my planner for deco. So I punched the holes and rounded it. So this will go in there to divide up some sections. And then the dividers that I laminated were 2. So I just did these 2 for 2 specific sections. I have this one too that I was thinking of using. I'm not sure if I will, so I'm going to set this aside for now. Yeah, just like a center tab. But let's see. Let me just clear off my table here so I have room and it's not so messy. Okay, you know what? Let's not put anything in here yet. Let's do my inserts. So I also made this today dashboard or page finder. I'm really liking having one of these. So this is this month's. And I forget why. I had to trim it down. I had to trim it to be more narrow. I forget why. So I wanted it to be wider because I like to be able to put sticky notes on here. And I did black. I asked Ryan what he thought. Do I do black or do I do gold again? And he's like, black, because the gold you can't always see. So I was like, yeah, that's a good point. Oh gosh, look how much higher I did it. I am not a professional, ladies and gentlemen. Oh gosh, that's hilarious. Well, I will have no problem finding today, will I? That is where I go the most. Every single day I'm in my today. So I don't know, I might trim a little bit off the top. The thing with vellum though is that you can trim and not split it. It's only paper or like a cardstock. So I will be able to trim a little bit off the top. I don't know how much that will help. It's only like 1 millimeter. So maybe I'll leave it for now. Next time, it'll be better next time. This is like perfect, this height. I didn't like how I had it sticking out on the bottom as well. So I made it shorter so that it did not stick out on the bottom, only the top, because I am gonna have something on the bottom for one of my sections and I didn't want to have too much. So anyways, so yeah, I made it today. I love it. All right, let's trim some inserts, shall we? So I'm gonna put my stickers away because I am, at this point, I feel like I am done with these. All right, so I've got compass cards I need to trim, my inserts for September that I need to trim, note paper. I'm really excited about this. I made, if you're familiar with the Franklin Covey system, they have what are called cutaway notes to put in your dailies for days that you need note paper. And so I made some because I've been finding as work gets busier, it has been getting busier, especially now that we're working on buy, sell, plan. I've found myself needing to take notes, and I'm running out of note paper. So I thought, let's make some cutaways. I was thinking of going into day on 2 pages to have that extra space, but I don't need it daily and I don't want to bulk up my planner. So I made some cutaway notes just to use on the days that I need extra notes. These were just samples Ryan and I were playing with last night for like colors and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm going to set those aside. And then these are for my journal, my wellness journal. And these are from Sterling Ink. So you can subscribe to her email list or her Facebook group, and you get these free every month. So this is A5 size. So I need to trim these down. Well, September anyways. October, I'll just keep that aside, but September, so I can put that in my journal. So I'll set that aside. I'm going to do that last. So let's do inserts. So if you're curious how to trim inserts, I've been asked a couple of times how I do this. So I make my own inserts and I make sure that I have the cut lines so that I know where to cut. Okay, so I usually do 2 at a time in my paper trimmer because I don't want to overload it. I make sure that it is even on this little ledge. There's a ledge on the bottom and the top. And then I line up there's like there's a line here. It's like a wire. So that's where the blade goes. So I line it up on the lines that go this way. Okay. And then I trim it off. I do it this exact same way every single time. I do the same thing on this side. So you can still see a little bit of that, but that's okay because it's going to be trimmed above. Now, here's the key. On this one here, because I need this as my guide to print this way, I'm not going to trim it completely off. I'm going to leave just a little bit so that when I turn it this way, make sure that it's even. When I turn it this way, I have that little line. Make sure you're on the ledge. I've done that many times where I didn't and it didn't trim properly. And you see that? So that line is still there even though it's almost completely off. And then I use that as my guide. Okay, so it doesn't matter if this here is perfect. It just matters that that is perfect. Okay, so then that's the first 2 trimmed. And then I'm going to set that down and I'm going to do the same with the rest. Then I will punch them and round the corners. And you know, if you're going to get into printing your own inserts, which my shop is going to be a printable shop, it is work. So every month I'm doing this. You could spend a day doing your entire year, and then that way they're done for the year, and then just put them in your storage binder. So I do this every month. Sometimes I'll do 2 or 3 months at a time, depending on what my schedule looks like. But because I've been working on my inserts all year, perfecting them, using them, so all of 2023, I used my own inserts. I've been doing this since 2022, like late 2022. And so I used all of last year to perfect, and throughout this year before opening my shop, just to make sure that they're perfect before I offer them for sale. So that's why I haven't printed out more than like a couple months at a time, because sometimes I make little tweaks. And the little tweaks could be so simple, like let's change the color of the circles. Let's make the circles a little bigger. You know, let's, you know, make these a little smaller and whatever. So, and now that I have Ryan working on it with me, he's even more of a perfectionist than I am with this. So yeah, but like I said, you do you. If you like doing it monthly, like, I mean, today's September 3rd and I have not had time to do this. So that's only happened to me a couple times this year where I haven't been able to get them done before the month begins. So it's not a big deal for me. So whatever works for you, but it's a lot, it's work. You're printing it yourself. I've had issues with the printer. Sometimes if I print at work, which I love my printer at work because it's so fast, literally seconds. It just spits them out in seconds because it's a really heavy duty printer. But sometimes depending on, it's always the magenta. Depending on the cartridges, which I have no control over because it's, you know, 200 or so realtors using that printer at any given time in a month. So the colors aren't necessarily always consistent. So for the last couple of months, I've only been using my printer at home. I have a laser printer, and it gets the color right every single time. It takes longer, but it gets it right. And that matters more to me than speed. So keeping that in mind when you are printing inserts, especially if they have color on them, that's something to be aware of. Now we are going to be making a version of these with no color. They're just going to be black and white for those that don't care for the color pink, or don't want to have to worry about that in their printer, of always making sure that they have magenta in there. And I've thought like, oh, why am I doing this? It's so easy. I do miss the days where you just go online, order your inserts. They come already punched, corners are already rounded, like, you know, but there's just nothing out there in the marketplace for me as a real estate agent and a business owner to be able to track numbers. So that's why I've been custom making these, because I've been trying, I have in the past tried with the Franklin Covey inserts and other brands, and it's just, I haven't been able to make them work. It's like trying to put what's that saying? A square peg in a round hole. Even though the inserts are great, but for what I need them for, they're just, haven't had planner peace, I guess you could say, with the pre-printed stuff. So I absolutely love my inserts. There's still tweaks though, like before we launch, we're still working on it because we want them to be really perfect for you. Okay, so here we go. Here are my dailies. I'm gonna have to change my blade soon. That's another thing. Make sure that you have a nice sharp blade so that you don't get the fraying on the sides. So I do have just a little bit of the fraying. I have 2 new blades in my drawer. I just don't want to get up and change it. But anyway, so by my method, I love it. They are all perfectly the same size. And I really like that in my binder. I don't like different sizes. I don't like if some are more narrow than others. So yeah, so that's done. Now, let me share with you with the compass card. Because with the compass cards, there's no cut lines for the middle. So when I sell these in my shop, and by the way, when I sell them, it won't have these labels, so you'll be able to put your own, because everyone's rolls are different, right? So how this works is this is front and back. Okay, so the same goes for how I cut them initially. Okay, now to cut them so that, because the holes are going to go here, right? So basically on one sheet, I have 2 weeks worth. So what I do, see how close to the edge I am here, because that's where the cut line was. I'm going to do the same thing here. And they're not always, oh, this is pretty good. This has been a lot of trial and error for me to figure out how to get these to be the exact same size. And this was, like I said, a lot of trial and error, a lot of printing them, trimming them. Oh, that didn't work. Go into the document, into the design, move them around a little bit more. So I think I have finally perfected it. That's awesome. I love that. They are the exact same size. Okay, so now I just printed out 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So I printed out enough for 10 weeks. So I'm just going to trim these real quick. So everything is punched. I've got my cutaway notes. See how they are not the full height? So I will show you how that's going to go in my planner. Inserts are done and my compass cards are done. So now I'm going to put my paper trimmer away. Now it's time to punch everything. And I love this punch. It's the Repesco punch. Got it off Amazon. It's amazing, but it can't really, I mean, it's pretty heavy duty. I don't know. I'm doing like 2 to 3 sheets at a time, and it's pretty good. The key to this punch is to make sure that you are emptying it out after each use. And making sure that the confetti isn't in the, because it can get stuck in the holes, and then it will affect how well it punches your insert. So anytime I sit down to do any punching at all, it's always empty and cleaned out. Okay, so punching is done on those. So I'm going to punch these. That's what I do. I do all the punching first, then I round the corners. So let's do 3 of these. Okay. Oh, wait. Oh yeah, okay, done. I printed out the first week of September because I had to start planning. This just feels so good. Look at that. I am all set. I'm so excited. Okay, now that everything is punched, let's get to it, shall we? So here, so I always like to have something pretty to look at when I first open my binder. So it's usually like a thick vellum and a pretty pattern. These are from Jane's Agenda. I used to subscribe to her subscription box every month. So these came in one of my sub boxes and they are just stunning. So those will come out. And then my tab dividers, a page finder here. These are the tab dividers. So I'm going to be changing out a lot of these. Yeah, I'm going to be changing out a lot of these. So let's take these out. And what I'm thinking of putting in its place is this. This is from like a recollection scrapbook paper pad from Michael's. I got it, I think, a year ago. But I love that it has the leaves and the acorns and the beautiful flowers. So it's still, like I said, late summer, early fall vibes. And I just feel that it complements this binder so well. And then as far as my vellum, I played with a lot of them, and both Ryan and I agreed that this plaid one is perfect for fall. And the reason I like a vellum over top is, first of all, it protects it and prevents the rounding from opening and closing with the rings. And also I like this to not be so vibrant. I like it to be soft. So having especially with the white lines, print, my gosh, I can't word. I just find that it just softens it. Okay, so I believe I'm keeping this in here. Let's see, I'm definitely going to be taking this. I'll leave that in there for now. We'll see. Okay, where are my dividers? Yeah, okay, so this is the second one. Okay, yeah, so I'm taking this one out, although this is my favorite, but I'm going to put this one in its place. This is staying. I believe it was the second last one that I was taking out, because this is still very kind of summery. So I'm going to take that one out and put this one in its place. And then I had this in here, which I'm going to take out, and I think I wanted this one here instead. Dividers are in there. And now it's time to remove August. Gosh, I am just obsessed with this print, but it has to go. So August out, September in, today go here. Actually, you know what I need to do? I need to cut slits so that I don't have to open and close my rings all the time. And this can either go on the front or the back. I just love this affirmation. I can handle what the universe sends my way. My success is inevitable. I am committed to do the things others won't. Everything is working out in my favor. I just love that. And I love reading it every day and having that reminder. Okay, those are set aside. So, oh man, that's big. I don't know. I think that's going to bother me. I might have to redo it. So this is going to have to come out. This I had in here for August. So let's see what I'm going to do. I still need to cut that as well. I have this etch dashboard from Crafty Brina. I got it when I got this one here. I don't know if you can see that. This one here says, just leave me be in amongst the flowers, the birds, and the bees. And it has all these flowers around it, and it's etched. It's just gorgeous. And then this one is just floral. So I want to find a spot for this. Sorry, I had to take a phone call. Okay, here we are, 45 minutes later. So yes, as I was saying, I want to find somewhere to put this. I just love, I love when I open this up, and I just love it so much. All right, so let's take out last month's decor and put in this month's. Let's see what okay, so I'm gonna need these. Let's see what we have here. Not really thinking that one. I'm thinking maybe this one. How does that look? I mean, that is cute with the kind of like a cafe. And I love this in my schedule section to put the sticker. And then when the month is over, I will use the sticker in my memory journal, I think. So that looks good. Okay. And then how are we going to use this card? Love the darker colors. I'm gonna leave that there. Maybe take this guy out. Or maybe that looks good. Oh, we'll do that for now. We will do that for now. This is so pretty. Okay, let's get this guy ready. And I always put this at the beginning of my dailies so that when the months end and my dailies begin, it just helps me know when my dailies begin. So we are going to use this. So this comes in the Sterling Ink subscription kit every month. It's B6 size, which is wider and taller than personal wide, but it is close. It's the closest that you're gonna get to personal wide. So I do have to trim it each month. Perfect. Just perfect. I think I'll leave that. I still need to set up my compass card. It's Tuesday and I haven't set my compass card up yet. So I still need to do that. So I'm going to put that in there. And then, so with my cutaway notes, I only rounded the bottom corner because this one is short. So then this can go here for notes. So that way you can still see the date. So I'll put the date here, like this will be, let's say, for example, for Tuesday. And maybe this one will be for Wednesday, you know what I mean? That type of an idea, but I love that. So then I have an extra spot for notes. It's perfect. I'm gonna leave that there because I need to set up internet today for our new place. I need to book the elevator. And I have some other things that I need to do for our move and make notes of. So this will be perfect for that. Okay. Do I have anything? Oh yeah, like these guys. So let's see where I want these. So I know I want something to document the current month. Do I want, I'm gonna put slits in these. Now the question is, so they need to go in order. How do I want to do this? I already have something to mark today. I do need something for the current week because as the month goes on, I find like it can be confusing. Like I need to reference this. I used to have something that marked where this was, and then I was like, oh, I don't need all the extra, page finders. And then I have found it to be quite annoying to have to flip to find this page. So I've decided I need that again. So I will probably will I do that one there? Let's see. I know I need something for the current month, but do I want, you know what? I do want something I also reference this a lot too. And I find myself, so now I know, I finally trained myself to know that that's where this will lead me. So I don't know if I want to put that there. And then I also need something for my CEO section, which this takes me to my CEO section, but do I want something that takes me right to notes? Because Ryan and I, we do brain dumps a lot, especially when we're in the car driving. We're both realtors, for those of you who are new here. We're both realtors, so we go to most of our appointments, we go together. So we're in the car together a lot, and we'll do brain dumps. He drives. I'm a, what do they call it? Passenger princess. So I always take my planner out and I'm writing down, I'm making the notes. So I like to have something that takes me right there. So I don't know if that's what this will be for. Look how pretty that is. I love that. And they complement this very well. And I find that shade of kind of like a rosy kind of pink. It just complements the dusty blue binder so well. I really like that. So then this takes me to current goals. This takes me to CEO section. Do I want it there or do I want it right where the notes are? Oh no, that's where the notes are. This takes me to CEO section. And then this one takes me to, oh, I need something for the current month. That's something else I needed. So maybe that's what this is going to be for. Definitely need something for the current month. That looks nice. So now what am I going to do for my notes section? All right, so I've got my bottom one here. I love that. That takes me right to my month. And then I have all these ones. So this one takes me to my goals. This is my CEO section, like my KPIs. This takes me to current notes. This takes me to this week, and this takes me to today. And I don't think I need anything else. Like, this is my notes section. So sometimes, you know, when I want to take notes that aren't specific to like a certain area in my planner, like I'll just go here. But I don't think I don't need a page finder. Those are stats, and then this is projects. So I think we're good there. What do we think? I want to have a couple of these in here. I think that's going to be good. What do we think? Oh gosh, this is like, I love that view. Just got the one there, and then we have all of our tabs up here. I think I like it. Okay, now next up is, am I going to change my charm? I really like that blue one. I was just looking at these thinking, is there another one that I could use that matches the theme? Or are these too summery? They just might be. I think we're probably okay with the blue one still. All right, that's my setup for September. I hope you enjoyed that and got some inspiration for your own crafting / planner setup. Let me know if you have any questions at all. I'm happy to help and answer any questions that you guys have. And yeah, again, make sure that you are subscribed to my email list so that you are the first to know when we launch our shop. And yeah, we've got lots of things planned. So launching our shop, exclusive content, and freebies and things like that. That will be coming your way. And we want to keep it exclusive, like where the people who are part of our email list are the first to know before we announce anything on social media, like YouTube, Instagram, things like that. So please make sure that you are subscribed if you would like to be kept in the loop on that. And yeah, we're so excited. We're so excited. So now I'm going to put in, so I'm a little bit behind in my journaling. Today's September 3rd, and I have a few days. So this would be 31st, September 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to put this here. And even though this is A5, I find it to be still a little bit too wide for my journal. And the corners of my A5 notebook are a little bit round, so I'm going to do the small. Where am I going to put this? So it's going to go here. So I'm going to round these corners here. And I use the small setting so that it's very subtle. Okay, I'm gonna grab my tape and we're gonna chip this in. There, that's all there is to it. I try to use something to kind of make it less bulky. It doesn't always work. Usually I print this on vellum, but because my vellum is packed away in my storage locker, so I'm using paper, but yeah, here's a vellum. So it's thinner and a little bit more transparent. I prefer the vellum, but what do you do? So that's vellum as well. So January, February, March was on vellum. April was on vellum. And then May, okay, yeah, May was on vellum too, like a thicker vellum. So I was able to print double-sided. And then, because we've been at the cottage all summer, so June, July, August, and September are all paper. Still looks good though. Okay, so that's set up. And then all I have to do in my journal is I like to decorate. This is where I track my fitness. So I did decorate where I do gratitude. I did that for the whole year because I had a lot of leftover stickers from previous subscription kits. So then what I've been doing for fitness, which is at the end of my book, I've been using the current year's subscription kit to decorate. So I still need to do September, but I'm not gonna film that because this video has been really long as it is, but just so you know, that is kind of my routine when I'm setting up for a new month. So I set up my wellness journal as well. I don't know where this was, so I'm just gonna put it here. So I set up my wellness journal. Like I do need to date my weeklies for the month of September. So I do this, and then I set up a new tracker for where I track my sleep is already done for the year. My cycle trackers though are not, because symptoms can change month to month. So this kind of went from a cycle tracker to a perimenopause tracker. And so I just set up for this month. I still have to write the date there. And yeah, so that's just a little bit about what I do. I do also need to do my wellness recap, where I need to recap August. So I like to track my numbers as far as my minutes of exercise. Like that was a great month. I felt great that month. But you know what? I look back here and I'm like, oh, 49-day cycle. So I didn't, this is before I started HRT. I wasn't cycling consistently. And so I felt great. But then when I have a cycle, I don't feel great. This is a 26-day cycle. So my minutes dropped. I didn't write down what the kind of a cycle it was, but it was probably around the same. So yeah, it really affects me. But anyways, this is good, right? Good information, good data that I can take to the doctor. Okay, I'm gonna stop rambling. Let me know if you have any questions at all, you guys. I'm happy to share on what works for me, and hopefully it can work for you as well. So have a great rest of your day. I hope you are all set up for September and you have a great month. But yeah, stay on the lookout for my next video. I look forward to seeing you then. Bye.